Most exciting part of the NFL offseason is now over.
Pete brought his brand new power ranking after the draft.
So with the draft in the books, I think it's time to dive into our 2024 NFL post-draft power rankings. Number 32, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 32. Dan Morgan put together a solid first draft in the GM chair with limited picks. Morgan moved into the number 32 spot to snag South Carolina wideout Xavier Legette. Then at number 46, he got Texas star Jonathan Brooks, the best running back prospect in this year's class. And speaking of Longhorns, guys, grabbing tight end Jatavian Sanders in the 101 spot was another savvy piece of work by Morgan. I mean, hey, Bryce Young must be thrilled. Number 31, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 31. Even with limited draft capital, the Broncos hit on three pressing needs with their first three picks. Oregon QB Bo Nix in round 1, Utah linebacker Jonah Ellis in round 3, and Oregon wideout Troy Franklin in round 4. With Russell Wilson and Jerry Jeudy gone, this is clearly a transition year in Mile High City. Patience is a virtue, Broncos fans. Enjoy the Avalanche and Nuggets in the process. Number 30, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 26. The Titans reached for Alabama offensive tackle J.C. Latham at number 7, and the second-round selection of Tavondre Sweat was also kind of surprising, considering that the Titans already have a top-tier defensive line. Latham and Sweat need polishing and will make minimal impacts at best as rookies. It's hard to find anyone from this year's haul that's actually going to make a difference in 2024, and playing in the AFC South Division with 3 playoff contenders means it's going to be a painful year of rebuilding in Music City. Number 29, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 30. Good on the Patriots for not overthinking it and taking North Carolina QB Drake May at number 3. The rest of the draft, however, they left a lot to be desired from this perspective. They really reached for the Washington wideout Jalen Polk at number 37 when Texas's Adonai Mitchell was there for the taking. And taking Tennessee QB Joe Milton III at number 193 was a bit of a head-scratcher considering that they already have May, Jacoby Brissett, and Bailey Zappi in the QB room. At any rate, year 1 of the post-Bill Belichick era was always going to be full of growing pains. Like the Broncos and Titans fan bases, the Pats faithful must be patient this year. Number 28, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 29. For chaos' sake, we kinda wanted to see the Giants take a QB at number 6. But you can't hate on the selection of LSU wideout Malik Neighbors, it's number 6 overall. For once, Daniel Jones has a superstar-level receiver to throw the ball to. Defensive backs Tyler Nubin, Andrew Phillips, and tight end Theo Johnson were also pretty good value picks by GM Joe Shane. Number 27, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 28. Taking Marvin Harrison Jr. 4th overall ensures that the Cardinals' offense will be a juggernaut for years to come. Can't wait to see what Kyler Murray does with Marvin Sr.'s son. Missouri defensive tackle Darius Robinson also fills a void on the D-line, and Florida State RB Trey Benson could easily become the lead RB1 over James Conner. Arizona still has flaws across the board, but they are sure on the right track after a superb draft by GM Monty Ossenfort. Number 26, Washington Commanders. Last time's ranking, 25. Good on the Commanders for keeping it simple and taking the best QB available at number 2 in Jaden Daniels. The dual-threat QB will always be the best option with Caleb Williams off the board, and he just perfectly fits Cliff Kingsbury's offense. We also love the pick of Illinois' Jerzon Newton in round 2, giving Dan Quinn's D another potential all-pro pass rusher. Tight end Benson Ott and wideout Luke McCaffrey, Christian's younger brother, could also both develop into impact players for Daniels. Number 25, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 23. Make no mistake, Brock Bowers was a great value pick for the Las Vegas Raiders at number 13, as was Oregon guard Jackson Powers Johnson at 44. Our only reason for moving Vegas down 2 spots, well, they didn't get a QB, and it's hard to be sold on a Gardner Minshew Aiden O'Connell QB tandem for 2024. But if Vegas's master plan is to tank for someone like Carson Beck, Shedeur Sanders, or Quinn Ewers next year, then heck, sign us up. Number 24, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 22. First-round pick Byron Murphy II should immediately improve Seattle's defensive line and run defense, and Christian Haynes could develop into a solid long-term starter at guard. Michigan tight end A.J. Barner might not be an explosive pass catcher, but he's an elite run blocker who will make this rushing offense even better. The Hawks only drop here because, well, other teams just got better in the draft. Number 23, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 27. The Vikings only had to move up 1 spot to get the man they wanted all along in Michigan's J.J. McCarthy. Take a bow, GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah and head coach Kevin O'Connell. Even if McCarthy isn't ready to start in year 1, the Vikings have Sam Darnold as their bridge guy. Now they look extra wiser for letting Kirk Cousins walk. Hate on the trade up for Dallas Turner at number 17 all you want, but he fills the team's last major organizational need at edge rusher with Danielle Hunter departing. Number 22, Los Angeles Chargers. last time's ranking 24. The Bolts aced their first two picks in Notre Dame offensive tackle Joe Alt and Georgia wideout Ladd McConkey. We also can't help but get a little excited about the selection of Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice, at number 225. We want to move the Bolts higher, but, well, too many question marks persist on the defensive side of the ball, and we still wish they did just a little more at wideout after cutting ties with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Number 21, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking 21. The Saints got two likely day one starters in Oregon offensive tackle Talisa Fuaga and cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry. We also just love the pick of South Carolina QB Spencer Rattler at number 150, giving the team a potential successor to Derek Carr. The Saints addressed their main needs at the draft. Now let's see if they can return to the postseason. Number 20, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking 20. First-round pick Laiatu Latu out of UCLA should add plenty more juice to an already terrifying front seven. One of our favorite picks came in round 2 when Indy landed Texas wideout Adonai Mitchell with the number 52 pick. That dude was supposed to be a first-rounder, and now Anthony Richardson is loaded with weapons heading into year 2. Number 19, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking 17. Rams GM Les Snead used 5 of his first 6 picks on defensive players. Jared Verse will help minimize the damage of Aaron Donald's retirement, as will his Florida State teammate Braden Frisk. Michigan RB Blake Corum and Miami defensive back Cameron Kinchins were great value picks at number 83 and number 99 respectively. One note, we are kind of surprised that the Rams didn't try to draft Matt Stafford's successor here. Number 18, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 16. Duke center Graham Barton slots in as the replacement for retired fan favorite Ryan Jensen. Linebacker Chris Braswell and Washington receiver Jalen McMillan felt like unnecessary luxury picks since, well, those aren't positions of need for Tampa. But grabbing Georgia safety Tyke Smith in round 3 was a very savvy move, especially if Antoine Winfield Jr. ends up leaving next year. Number 17, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 19. Chicago had just 5 picks this year, but they found 2 long-term franchise cornerstones in QB Caleb Williams and wideout Rome Odunze, who were taken 1st and 9th overall respectively. If Williams reaches half his potential as a rookie, the Bears will contend for a playoff spot. Finally, the sun is starting to shine in the Windy City again. Number 16, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 15. The Michael Penix Jr. pick at number 8 was absolutely baffling. You know, considering that Atlanta just handed Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed. Even if Penix pans out down the road, this pick just does nothing to help an Atlanta team in win-now mode. Though the Falcons got great value with Washington linebacker Braylon Trice at number 74, they made up for it by reaching big time for Rook Orororo. To put it simply, the Falcons' work at the draft does not push them any closer to playoff contention. Number 15, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 18. LSU wideout Brian Thomas Jr. should be a mega weapon for Trevor Lawrence. Defensive lineman Mason Smith and quarterback Jerrion Jones can both be impactful long-term starters on Jacksonville's young D. The Jags are well suited to bounce back and return to the playoffs after a very miserable finish to 2023. Number 14, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 13. Chop Robinson and Patrick Paul both address organizational needs, but taking RB Jalen Wright and a pair of receivers in Malik Washington and Taj Washington was curious, considering that Miami is loaded at both positions. Would have liked Miami to address cornerback or linebacker in the earlier rounds. Robinson has to be a quality starter from day one if Miami's rookie class is to help this team return to the postseason. Number 13, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 14. After acing the early stages of the offseason, GM Omar Khan put the cherry on top with a beautiful showing at the draft. Khan drafted 4 possible day 1 starters in Washington OT Troy Fautanu, West Virginia center Zach Frazier, Michigan wideout Roman Wilson, and NC State linebacker Peyton Wilson. The Steelers certainly looked like a Super Bowl dark horse. Number 12, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 12. At least Buffalo got a new wide receiver in Keon Coleman with the number 33 pick, but we're not sure why they traded down with Kansas City, allowing the Chiefs to take the more polished Xavier Worthy. Brandon Beane's next 2 picks, Cole Bishop and Dwayne Carter, were good value selections, but taking Ray Davis with your 4th pick when you already have James Cook at running back? How the heck does that selection help you win in the short term? Number 11, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 10. Penn State defensive tackle Olu Fashanu was the right pick at 11, but he may not see much playing time with Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses occupying the starting OT roles. Not sure why Joe Douglas took wideout Malachi Corley and 2 more RBs and Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis when the Jets are set there as is. But Florida State QB Jordan Travis was a nice pick at 171. Might he succeed Aaron Rodgers in Gotham? Stay tuned. Number 10, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 9. The Packers draft is tough to analyze. Offensive lineman Jordan Morgan was a reach at 25, and taking USC RB Marshawn Lloyd was also surprising with Josh Jacobs and A.J. Dillon already in the fold. That said, linebacker Edgerrin Cooper and safety Javon Bullard were great picks. Not sure how much playing time they'll actually see as rookies, but these guys could both be quality long-term starters in Titletown. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 11. Dallas gets the slight bump because they found 3 guys who could start and produce immediately. Offensive lineman Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, and potent edge rusher Marshawn Nealon. That semi-makes up for Derry Jones' disappointing inactivity in free agency. Hey, now extend CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons already. Get to it. Number 8, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 7. Amarius Mims was a reach at 18, and he won't see much playing time with Trent Brown and Orlando Brown Jr. already slotted in as the starting OTs. We would have liked more edge rushers here with Trey Hendrickson requesting a trade, but Chris Jenkins at least solidifies the interior D-line. Bottom line here, a healthy Joe Burrow makes them Super Bowl contenders. Number 7, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 8. The Browns didn't have a first-round pick, but GM Andrew Berry found great value with his first 3 picks in Michael Hall Jr., Zach Zinter, and Jamari Thrash. It's okay if the Browns rookies don't see much playing time next year. This team is loaded from top to bottom and ready to win now. Number 6, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 6. The trade up for Will Anderson Jr. meant no first-round pick for Houston, but the depth on D was bolstered by the picks of defensive backs Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock. Offensive lineman Blake Fisher provides more depth on stout O-line too. Houston already won the offseason with the pickups of Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, and Daniil Hunter. The draft was just gravy. Number 5, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 4. The Ravens lost several key pieces in free agency. They remain elite in the secondary, so it was surprising that they used their first-round pick on a boomer bust guy in Clemson corner Nate Wiggins. Drafting a potential Ronnie Stanley succession plan in Roger Rosengarten was a nice move by the front office. North Carolina wideout Devontae Walker could be the deep threat that Lamar Jackson needs to improve the passing game. The Ravens are still a bona fide title contender, even if they lost a little more than they gained this offseason. Number 4, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 5. Philly had the second worst pass D last year. GM Howie Roseman fixed that by somehow landing 2 of the top 3 corners in this class, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean at number 22 and number 40 respectively. Those 2 guys are going to immediately turn Philly's secondary back into elite form. After a miserable finish to 2023, Nick Sirianni's group is poised to re-emerge as a Super Bowl contender in 2024. Number 3, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 3. The Lions won the draft after trading up via Dallas in the number 24 spot to select Alabama corner Terrion Arnold, the best DB in this draft. Having already traded for Carlton Davis, the Lions' leaky pass D should now be a strength. Detroit still needs more pass rushes for Aiden Hutchinson, but adding Arnold coupled with the extension news of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell made for a wonderful week in Motor City. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 2. Ricky Pearsall was a big reach in round 1, but Florida State corner Renardo Green was a gem of a find in round 2. Don't be surprised if he's a day 1 starter. Bottom line, San Fran is still the team to beat in the NFC. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 1. The Bills were happy to trade out of the number 28 spot and allow Kansas City to take Texas wideout Xavier Worthy with that pick. So, way to go, League. Another weapon for Patrick Mahomes and the defending champs. So hey, congrats to Kansas City on remaining the team to beat following the draft. But hey, what changes would you make to our post-draft NFL Power Rankings? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.